You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell. Sponsored by Absolute Mortgage, a division of Pinnacle Capital Mortgage Corporation. Now, in the studio, local mortgage and finance expert, Tina Mitchell.
Welcome back to the Money Hour with your host and mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell, right here at 1150 AM KKNW, the Saturday, May 7th show. Each week, I share expert advice and inside knowledge on how today's events in our local economy can affect your money. If you're hearing my show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast. You can talk with the guests I have in studio, or if you have any questions for me as your host, you can call 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com. Right now in studio, I've got Dan Edwards with the Eastside Real Estate Team, and we're going to talk about how to choose a real estate agent and in choosing any other profession as well. There are a list of important questions that you need to ask to make sure that you're getting an expert in the industry and in the field. So, Dan, thank you so much for coming back in studio.
Yeah, Tina, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So a little bit about Dan. Dan entered real estate in March of 2006. His background in sales, business, and technology has enabled him to be more efficient with real estate professional. And he loves real estate and people. It was only natural that he join the two, putting them together. His vision to ensure the process of buying, selling, or investing in real estate, making a positive one. He believes in leveraging the power of strengths. The Eastside Real Estate Team mission is to be a professionally quality team with the vision to build and strengthen the community by guiding their clients through the process of buying, selling, or investing in real estate on the East Side. As team leader, Dan is dedicated to helping empower his team members to achieve their mission. In addition, he works with buyers and sellers to negotiate a strong position to purchase their home. As a certified negotiating expert, Dan seeks to leverage his skills into the best possible negotiating position for his clients. Investing in real estate is why Dan started his career in real estate, and helping investors identify their needs, return on investment, and investing strategies is a passion of Dan's as well. Dan looks forward to getting to know you, my listeners, and all about what your needs and wants are. So again, with the hot real estate market, Dan, there comes a flood of new agents joining in the ranks, and this is not a bad thing. However, if they don't have a plan and the right experience, it can cost the homeowner, cost them a lot of money. And really finding out the level of experience, and especially in today's market, because their lack of inventory, homes are increasing so quickly, buyers really have to be prepared in moving forward and negotiating. It's really important. So I was so excited when you shared with me the 10 questions that need to be asked. So I want to go through those with our listeners today and get a little behind the scenes why. So the first question you said, when you're interviewing a real estate agent, are they full-time in doing this job? Can you explain to my listeners, Dan, why that's important?
Yeah, before I do, Tina, let me just mention that I think that one of the best things that you can do, one of the best jobs in the world, is real estate. Mm-hmm. And so I want to hand it, to the individuals out there that are just getting started in the business, and also say right off the bat that does not disqualify them for being an exceptional agent to help you buy or sell or invest in real estate.
Got it.
I want to put that out there. But with regards to this question, the most important investment that you have is your home. Mm-hmm. And when you're considering putting that on the market, or if you're considering buying your first home, it's important to have somebody that's dedicated to that success, and dedicated to the success so that they are 100% focused as much time as possible. I can honestly say I'm not spending 24/7 helping my clients nonstop. Of course,
sure.
I sleep at night and those kinds of things. But you want to make sure that they're taking it as seriously as you would.
Exactly. And if they're part-time agent, it could mean that they're not succeeding enough to be able to provide financially for their family, and so they don't have that time that they can actually commit, like you had said.
Yeah, it can be a challenge.
So second question, when interviewing brokers to work with, how many sales have you handled in a targeted neighborhood, and what is the market like? So how should they answer this question, Dan? Yeah,
that's a really important question for you to ask when you're talking to a broker. And there's actually two sides to that, and I'm going to present that today. Is in one case, you want somebody that can really know your market. right? Because when it comes time to buying in that area, you want to make sure that they're advising you properly on price, market times, the value, the future values, where the neighborhood's going, what the schools are doing. If you have somebody that's really from outside that area, it's not difficult for them to get up to speed quickly.
Yes.
And so if you're asking them that question, it's important to test is, have they done their research? Do they know what they're talking about? My business takes me as far north as Bothell, as far south as Covington, Kent, Maple Valley, as far east as North Bend. So I can't put myself as the neighborhood expert in one tiny little quarter-mile area.
Sure.
Okay. But I know exactly what's going on in all of those areas, in all of those cities, because I study them. So it's important that when you ask that question of it as an agent, you're finding out how prepared they are.
Makes total sense. So what about the third question being, have they ever had a complaint filed against them? And again, going through these questions is really important because I don't think that there's any buyer or seller that would necessarily think to even ask this question. And it's an important question. Yeah.
And put it in this perspective of an interview.
Exactly.
If you're interviewing an applicant for a job, you're going to do a background check.
Yes.
And
now a credit check.
And now a credit. Wow.
A lot of times.
They're doing credit checks for hiring?
Yeah, a lot of times. Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So it's a key obviously if somebody is out there just kind of doing things that are on the edge, chances are they're going to get caught.
Yes.
And you certainly want to know that up front. The level of ethics of the individual you're working with.
And I love the level of ethics because it's so important as well, Dan, as you know, from behind the scenes, when you're interacting with the other realtors that are representing those sellers, if you're working with a buyer or vice versa, I mean, that ethics and that reputation that you have within the real estate community can make or break that offer coming together.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Dan, what about another question that you have? The next one is, how many sellers are you representing right now? So why is that question important and how should they be answering that?
Sure. Again, this is a gauge of, what is it that they do? If you're hiring somebody to sell your house and they are not working with any sellers or haven't worked with any sellers, it may not be the best agent for you. It may be a great agent for helping somebody buy a house.
Yes.
Right? Now, again, it's about proficiency and ability. So when push comes to shove, the answers to that questions, it comes down to if you're working with 50 sellers, they may not have the time and attention that you require.
Yes. Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if it's 2, it doesn't matter if it's 0, but at least having the answer to that question can help you decide. Is this the right agent for me?
Exactly. And there are agents that focus just on sellers, or there's agents that put all their focus or most of their focus on buyers, and there's other ones that do both like you do. So knowing that right up front is going to be important. So what about the next question you have is, what are your fees and are they negotiable? So let's talk about this one.
Sure. Yeah. Essentially, at the end of the day, we live in a fantastic capitalist society. So people can decide how much they want to charge for their service, and you, as a individual that's looking to hire somebody, can decide how much you want to pay for them. If the fees are negotiable, that's something that I probably get asked that all the time, and I say, yeah, sure, certainly, I'd be happy to charge you more. But in the reality, the agent has to be able to defend with a plan what they're getting paid.
Yeah. And I think understanding the cost associated to what is taking place in that real estate transaction is important to understand, and also what the actual broker is taking from that. So a lot of times the buyer and seller don't understand that there's...
Sorry to interrupt you, but if I can even say, I can't tell you how many times that I've sat across the table with a couple who have entered another agent, and that other agent did not even present what the costs were that were associated with the transaction as a whole.
Wow.
So not just my fee, but the entire, what am I going to end up with?
Yes.
And, it's an important thing to know, right?
Yep.
How much you're going to net at the end of the day. And actually, that's the most important question. Really.
Exactly. So what about marketing for a seller? I would think it would be an important question, as you have on your list, to ask what kind of marketing are they going to do for that home? Yeah.
Any fantastic broker is going to know exactly the second they sit down what they would do to market that home. And it's really important for you as the essentially the boss are comfortable with how they're going to present your home to the public.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's an easy question to answer. What are you going to do to market my home?
Yep.
And it should be in writing. If it's not in writing, it may be a little ambiguous. You may have heard that they're going to do X, Y, and Z, and then you're disappointed to find out they only did X and Y. And what happened to Z? And if it's not in writing, doesn't get done.
So explain, Dan, for one of my listeners may be thinking, is marketing really that big of a deal right now with the lack of inventory? Can you explain why it is such a big deal to still have a high level of marketing on every home in any market?
Yeah, that's a great question, and one that, as we saw this market emerge, it's kind of like, hey, this is easy. We can put a sign in the yard, put a lockbox on, and then somebody's going to show up and buy it. That's great. That'll sell a home.
Yes.
No doubt in this market. In less of a market, it won't. But is it going to get you the highest amount of possible eyeballs on that home?
Yes.
And so my philosophy is I go after every obstacle that could be in the way for any potential buyer. What is it that may keep me from writing an offer on this property?
Okay.
And so we take that approach is we want to make sure it gets out to the internet, as many syndicated websites as we possibly can. And we have the largest. Keller Williams has the largest syndication out there. Prepping with staging. I know you're going to have a stager talk a little later. That's a must.
Yes.
Even in this market, it's a must for us. And we have before and after evidence, photos on our website that we'd be happy to share where we had a house off the market. There was no staging. Great pictures. Same photographer came out with staging afterwards, and it sold in 5 days. So, there's an absolute must when it comes to the marketing. There are a lot of things that you got to do to maximize that.
Got it. Okay, so Dan, the seventh question that you say that you must ask when interviewing a broker, names and phone numbers of clients that they've already served in the past.
Absolutely. You know what's funny, though? They rarely call them. I don't understand. I've got a great list of past happy clients, and I put that in front of folks, and I'll follow up, and they're like, "Yeah, no, we never heard from them."
Wow!
But the important part is do it. Follow up. Find out how the experience was. That's very important.
Well, just you used an example earlier with the job interview. I mean, when you're going for employment, they're going to call your recommendations of your performance. So, I mean, this is a huge purchase. You want to make sure that you are finding out the experience from other clients. So, eighth question down that you say, how will you communicate and how often during the process?
In my opinion, it's the number one problem. The number one frustration that our clients have is, the level of communication is. With our system, we're calling every day. Every day. Every day before it's listed, during it's listed, after it's listed, until it's closed.
Yes.
And it may just be an update with, hey, just want to let you know nothing new has changed today. But if there's the broker out there that maybe is working 50, 30, 40 listings, do they have enough time to communicate with you with the level that you expect? So asking that question, it could be, we call you once a week. If you're okay with that, great.
Yes.
But if you want to know every step of the way, I want to call in the afternoon and in the morning, they need to know that, and you need to ask that question.
And having that commitment, like you say, up front. So I want to hit number 9 and number 10 right now, Dan. So number 9, to ask them, why would I hire you over your competitor? And the 10th question is, what haven't I asked that I should know? So these are 2 questions, me as a buyer or seller asking you in an interview. So explain those.
Essentially defining it against the competition is important.
Yes.
You want to know what difference they are from every, there's a lot of real estate agents and many getting in the market every day. And then finally, the 10th question again was,
what wasn't asked that I should know? Why is that an important question?
Well, I think you're going to really find out the level of expertise because there will be some items that didn't come up, and really it leaves it open for questions with regards to what else do I need to do to get ready to sell.
Yes. Dan, thank you so much. These are great questions that you guys should know when interviewing a real estate broker, to make sure you're working with an expert, somebody that knows the market. And Dan, you're definitely one of the leading ones in our arena, and I appreciate you coming in and sharing your wealth of information with me.
Again, Tina, thanks for having me.
Coming up next in the Money Hour, why staging your home is so important before putting your home on the market. Do you want to get top dollar when you sell your home? Staging is going to help you do that. Tori Toth with Tori Toth International right here on 1150 AM KKNW after the short break.